Word formation, how to use the word alone and its variations. Watch this video until the end and find out. Hey there, if you don't know me very well, hello, I am Teacher Prix, and I'm going to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. Make sure to subscribe to my channel because every week I post different kinds of English lessons to help you become a better and more confident English speaker. That's my job. That's what I do here on my channel. I help students at a pre-intermediate and intermediate level because, guys, vocabulary is part of the journey. But here we have a combination of vocabulary and grammar because it is important to understand how to use the different types of words in English. The most common types are nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. And oftentimes, when speaking in English or even writing in English, students misuse these words. They use nouns instead of verbs. They use verbs instead of nouns. They use adjectives instead of adverbs. So the purpose of this series here on my channel, this is video 11 of the channel of this series, okay, is to show you how to use alone as an adjective, how to use alone as an adverb, how to use the different kinds of words. That's what we call word formation, okay? So this is something I do with my students in my academy. I call my students BSA, Baby Sardine in the Area. It is important to study, and more than that, to learn a lesson, I must use it. Post examples, study. That's how you learn. You're watching this lesson, that's wonderful, great step, but you got to do a little bit more. And I recommend that at the end of this lesson, post one example here in the comments, okay? Now, the first one, the most obvious, alone is an adjective, okay? Do we have a verb? No. With some words in English, we don't always have the four most popular types: verb, noun, adjective, and adverb. And in the case of alone, we don't have a verb, okay? But we have an adjective. So the first one, adjective, alone. Pay attention to the pronunciation, okay? It's not alone, alone, okay? I'm alone, alone. Oops, it's the wrong one. Alone. So we have here, what is to be alone? No one present. It's just you. Just you. Alone. No company whatsoever. No one is present. And the good thing about this word is alone can be an adjective and an adverb. Remember that adjectives will describe nouns. A good house. Good is describing house. Alone can describe people and can describe actions, okay? Because when we use adverbs, we are describing actions or even adjectives. It's possible that some adverbs can describe adjectives. But in general, an adverb is commonly used to describe verbs, actions, okay? So look at the examples here as an adjective, and as an adverb, okay? I was alone last weekend. No one present, okay? I don't like going out alone at night. Now, here, this word is very interesting because some people would argue, no, but this is an adverb. No, but this is an adjective. So people could argue that, oh no, this is being used as an adverb because I am describing a state, I'm describing an action. So it could be, okay? But the idea of the adjective is no one present. I don't like going out alone with no one present, just me, myself, and I, okay? So I'm alone. Now, an adverb, on your own. Now, this is the difference, by yourself, like with no one's help, alone. This is a very good use, okay? That's why here, I don't like going out alone. It could be on your own, okay? So it could be an adverb, depending on how you want to interpret, okay? So it's hard bringing up children alone. I agree 100%. It is hard to bring up children 100% by yourself, on your own. So you see the difference in use? There are many different uses of the word alone, okay? I'm just, in this lesson, I didn't want to focus so much on expressions and idioms, but I will come here with an expressions video to show you the different uses of the word alone, because there are some cool expressions that I think would be interesting to show you here on my channel, okay? So to bring up someone alone, on your own, without any help. Oh, I did this alone. I created my channel alone, without any help, on my own. I made everything on my channel, you know, I made all the videos, all the content on my own, by myself. And it's working, you know, I'm happy. Lonely. And we have the song, I don't know if you remember, lonely, I am so lonely, I have nobody. Na, na, na. I think in the early 2000s, this song was very popular. So lonely is an adjective. Now keep in mind that many times you shouldn't think that, oh, there's a letter L and a letter Y. YMCA. And it's an adverb, because adverbs end in ly. So this is an adverb. No, this is an adjective. Not all words that end in the letters L and Y will be an adverb. This is an adjective. And here, alone, nobody in your presence, no company whatsoever. Lonely has a different touch. It's even worse, okay? Lonely means unhappy because you have no one, no friends. You are alone. You have no people to talk to you, okay? Do it like me, create a channel. No, I have people to talk to me. I have my friends, I have my sister, my family, you know, my neighbors, who knows? I'm always talking, people at the gym, it's all good. So lonely, unhappy because you have no friends or people to talk to. Now, here are some examples. It's hard to live in big cities. You can feel lonely sometimes. And this is true. Oftentimes, people assume that by living in a big city, you won't feel lonely. But in my opinion, it's the opposite. Because in big cities, people are so overwhelmed with the hectic lifestyle and everything they have to do to catch up with life that they end up not socializing. You know, they end up not having time to nourish relationships. So I think it's the opposite. I think in big cities, people tend to feel lonely because of the lifestyle, all the obligations and things they have to do. Work hours are insane. And in the countryside, I feel like it's much easier to establish good connections, good relationships, you know, or even casual relationships, you know, friendships, acquaintances. Everybody wants to chat and talk, you know. I feel like it's easier to establish good relationships in the countryside. It's a tendency. I live in São Paulo. It's a big city. I don't feel lonely here, okay? Of course, depends on the day. But in general, I don't feel lonely. I make friends. I'm good at socializing. I just tend to notice that it can be a little tricky, okay? Another example. Excuse me, that's Mr. Peterson. Oh, thank you. I did it. Mr. Peterson. That's Mr. Peterson. He is a lonely old man. His kids never visit him. Oh, poor Mr. Peterson. He's a good man, but he's a lonely old man. His kids never visit him. And I got this example idea because there is this old man I follow on Instagram. I think he's in his 80s, okay? And he started an Instagram account, a profile, and he posts some short videos, very short videos. He doesn't even talk, okay? He posts himself, you know, maybe drinking a beer, and there's a music playing, the song playing, excuse me, and then there's like a short text on the screen. And once he said he was feeling lonely, that he was a little lonely because his kids never had time to visit him because he was a little old and his kids were busy, his grandchildren were busy. And I remembered him. I was like, oh man, that's the guy I follow on Instagram. That's him. Now, loneliness. My loneliness is killing me. And I confess, I still believe. When I'm not with you, I lose my mind. Give me a sign. Hit me, baby, one more time. Loneliness, that's a noun. Loneliness is the state of being lonely. So in the previous slide, you saw lonely. That's an adjective. I describe people. But loneliness is the name of the state, the name of the emotion. I cannot say I am loneliness. No, I can't. Okay? It doesn't work. So loneliness is a noun. And that's a song, a very popular song. Baby, baby, one more time. And then she says, my loneliness, my situation right now of being alone, of feeling lonely, my loneliness is really hurting me. You know, my loneliness is killing me. Give me a sign. Send me a text message, you know, when girls are in love. Another example. I went through a period of loneliness in my life, but I am finally all right. You know, in a way, I feel like we all go through this at some point. We have a moment of loneliness. We go through a period of loneliness, but that doesn't last forever. I think when we go through those moments of loneliness, I feel that there is a lesson to be learned in those moments where loneliness is present. So we all go through that, you know, we all go through this period of loneliness, of the state of being lonely, a little sad, you know, the sadness of not having a good company, or just feeling like, oh man, where do I fit in the world? I think that's temporary, you know, we all go through that and then we learn and move on. Nice. And before I move on to the next word, make sure to subscribe to the channel, support the channel, you know, by subscribing, inviting your friends to subscribe. Don't let me alone. Don't leave me alone. Don't leave me hanging. And if you're interested, study plan cycle. Learn how to use the internet in your favor, how to organize your English study routine. Because if you fail to plan, you won't achieve English fluency. Let's keep going. Loner. That's a noun, and I will use loner. Oh, he's such a loner. To describe people, okay? It is not an adjective, but it describes a person, okay? It's a noun that describes a person, just like doctor, teacher. It describes a person, but it's a noun, okay? So a person who is often alone or prefers to be alone. Remember, not lonely. Alone and lonely are very different. If I use alone, I just mean without other people's presence, without other people's company. But lonely, we have the feeling of sadness involved, a little unhappy and alone. They're different things, okay? So lonely, if you listen to someone saying, oh, I'm feeling lonely, that's not a good thing, okay? But can I use alone in a negative way? Yes. It depends on your intonation. It depends on the context. Oh, I'm all alone. It is bad, you know. Now, loner, I don't see it as something bad, okay? Loner is a person who is often alone and who prefers to be alone. See, there is a choice. There is a preference. This person prefers to be alone. He's a loner. And this is oftentimes connected to personality. Oh, Jack, no, he's a loner. Nice guy, you know. I like to hang out with Jack. He's awesome, but he's a kind of a loner, okay? Jack's a nice guy, kind of a loner, but really nice to hang out with. So there's no negative idea here, okay? He's a loner. That's a person. I feel like in our society nowadays, these people are judged. They are misjudged, okay? They are taken for granted. Just because someone likes to be alone doesn't mean they are lonely. Now you know the difference. Just because you like to be alone doesn't mean you feel lonely, okay? Tell me, do you agree with this? Just because you're alone doesn't mean you feel lonely. That some people like to be loner, you know, a loner kind of person. So that's a very nice use of a word. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people may be, you know, a loner, but they may not enjoy being loners, okay? So, oh, he's such a loner, you know. Sometimes I feel like he's really sad. It may be true in some cases. but it doesn't mean it's true in all cases, okay? Some people prefer to be alone rather than with people. It happens. They prefer to have pets. They prefer their own company, you know? That's fine. And lonesome, another adjective. Now you're learning lots of good stuff here. Did you know this one? Lonesome, it is an adjective. It means unhappy. See? Unhappy. So lonesome, lonely, sad, unhappy. Because you are alone. Because you are alone. And you don't want to be alone. I feel so lonesome. Teacher, could I say I feel so lonely? Yes. But how about expanding your horizons and say, I feel so lonesome? Perfect. I really like that one, you know, but I don't feel lonesome. So because you have no friends, you have no company, you're alone, buddy. Ah, I love this sound. So it's hard not to feel lonesome sometimes. My parents get lonesome when their grandkids leave. This is very common, by the way. Grandparents, they usually feel lonesome. They get a little lonesome when their grandchildren leave. You know, they spend all day or all weekend at the grandparents' house, and then when they leave, oh, they feel lonesome. It happens, you know? Now, guys, let me know your favorite. Post here in the chat, you know, in the comments. Share this lesson with a friend. But other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.